Podcasting. Anyone ever thought about having a podcast? Where do I start? Where do I begin? Here's a tip for you, something that I use, Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. It is absolutely free, and they provide all the creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer, phone, tablet, whatever device you have. It is super convenient, and Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you. Your podcast can be on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Grow your listeners and get as many people as possible to listen to your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Let's do it.
Shows are individually owned and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Welcome to the Edventures in Tech podcast. Talking the latest tips and trends in educational technology to innovate and engage your students. Here are your hosts, Andrew and Dan.
We are up to episode 25 of the Adventures in Tech podcast. Good afternoon, Dan.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
As always, if you'd like to contact, like us, help us out, provide feedback and a rating on wherever you download your podcast from, we greatly appreciate your support. And it's episode 25, wrapping up season number 1.
Wow.
It's been great. It's been a great adventure, literally.
It's been
an adventure.
Absolutely.
We are going to title this podcast. I'm excited about the title. You know me and my creative drums, please. Let's see if anybody gets it right away.
Well, they probably did because they probably read the title when they clicked on it.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, drums, please. That's it. That's it.
I love
That's what
it.
I'm titling.
I love it.
And hopefully they get our little, fun with that. I don't have a would you rather. I'm unprepared.
Me too.
Okay.
We
know,
tell
after
we're
last
winding
week.
down to the end of the season and the end of the school year.
There is so much going on. We just were in a meeting for hours, and you want to know what grinds my gears, Dan?
Oh, don't
We
get
were
me
just
started.
about to start recording, and the fire alarm goes off. So then we had to start over.
And then you messed up the intro.
Yeah, well, not really. I don't mess anything up. You're sitting on a throne of lies again. But we're not going to talk about classroom updates because everybody is knee deep in all kinds of things right now with the classrooms. But I do want to touch on some of the news, the weekly wind-up news, as we talk about winding down. And we have been able to utilize this a little bit.
I love this.
So we've talked about templates and Google Docs. Let's talk about Google Workspace updates. And there's now table templates and drop-down chips in Google Docs to create those highly collaborative documents. We're all about collaboration here. And these two new enhancements are flexible. They're smart canvas for collaboration. There's table templates. It's great with projects overall.
Oh, absolutely. So when you're starting to work in Docs now, if you are looking into the Insert tab, there's some new features in there that I actually saw before I saw the update. So
Yep.
I was looking, I think I was going to insert a header into something, and then I looked at the menu and I was like, what is all this? So now in Google Docs, you have the ability to put in drop downs. So I think there's so many possibilities for this.
Absolutely.
Going from primary all the way up into secondary. So we look at, you can put in some different types of analysis things, and students can click on a certain word and choose, how to refill it with one of the drop downs. So I think there's a bunch of opportunities there, especially, if you think creative and outside the box of incorporating this new feature into Docs.
Yeah, they have preset drop downs. Obviously, we always like something that's, provided to us, whether it be project status and review status. And then, of course, the options go to not started, in progress, under review, and approved. So talk about collaboration all the time. That's perfect. You can also create your own drop downs as well.
And, they have these new features for building blocks. So,
Yep.
you can, you could always create meeting notes in Docs, but you had to go from the Meet thing to create it. Now you
calendar,
can
yeah.
now you can go in and create your meeting notes and then attach them to one of your calendar invites. The email draft we talked about, but
That's
these
huge.
3 new things here are pretty awesome. The product roadmap, the review tracker, and the project assets.
Yeah, so definitely play around with these new features in Docs. It's right underneath the Insert tab with drop downs, and then obviously building blocks as well, and you can kind of see where things go. It's It's already out, so you're gonna. It's no scheduled. It's already fully rolled out. You'll be able to check it out, and it kind of just lets us go right into our next thing with emoji reactions.
Well, before we go there, you might be thinking, why do I need a product roadmap, review tracker, or project assets? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Go in and see what they look like when they come into Docs, because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is going to help my collaboration so much more. And they're also editable. So you can go in and change the different columns and the different drop downs that they put in there for you. So I don't want to spoil it too much. Just go check it out. Play. It's really cool.
Have some sandbox time. Absolutely. And that's going to let me pivot to the emoji reactions in Google Docs on the web. So giving and receiving feedback is always a key collaborative workflow with Google Docs. The new emoji reactions feature provides a less formal alternative to comments to express your opinions about document content, or to use as placeholders as you're using Docs in a collaboration fashion for your students. They're going to be more engaged, let's be honest. So the emoji set is updated to the most latest version of emojis, reflecting the latest set with to really let you accurately reflect your identity. There are all kinds of things, so you can highlight the word and quickly input an emoji instead. And again, that has already been released in all formats, scheduled, rapid release, and so forth. The next thing, Dan, I'm going to let you touch base on, but I heard about this, and we always talk about Canva.
I love Canva.
And we talked a little bit about it earlier in the year, and now there's like a course through the design school for Canva design skill for students.
So, again, you can go in and check it out. We'll have the link in the show notes, but basically it gives you a series of lessons. It would be helpful for teachers, but you can also use it for your students. You can link them there, and basically taking them through how to search and edit elements, how to upload and edit media, record yourself, add and style text, edit photos, add animation, and use apps. So one of the things we always talk about is have students be creators and not consumers. Yep. So I see it all the time. I'm guilty of it. I do it. I encourage it sometimes, that students are going out and inserting images off of Google into their slide decks or into their sites or into whatever they're building, but like empowering them to build their own graphics, their own logos, their own animations. It's just a whole nother layer that I think is important to be able to capitalize on. So Canva is great for that.
And it levels up the engagement, obviously, from a teacher perspective, but also for the students. They're going to be engaged more, being able to be those creators of the original content. It also gives you different courses as well, and really, kind of spoon feeds it to you, so it's an easy way to understand it. Tiered out, step 1, step 2, step 3, for all the learnings in each course. They also have other ones, and the best part, it is free for educators and students alike. So we love that. Canva is something that is just such a robust tool that I think continues to evolve and will definitely help teachers, educators, and students alike.
Awesome.
This next thing I absolutely love. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw it, and it's great.
The periodic table of Google Chrome extensions. So geek out as scientists and mathematicians here. There is a list of the periodic table of Google Chrome extensions in a Google drawing, and it's broken down by startup, brain breaks and attention, research, speech to text, text to speech, readability and reading aids, video, screenshots, screencasts, writing, and productivity in the classroom. So a big shout out to Denise Henry Orndorff, who is a coach, from Frederick County Public Schools, who put this together.
It's awesome.
And you talk about one place. This is just something you want to star in your Google Drive.
Oh, do you see what's on here? Do you remember Google Tone?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So everything is here. Definitely. It's the periodic table, literally. So definitely take some time to click through, check them out. They're all linked. It's just such a phenomenal resource for Google Chrome's extensions in one place to check out and see what would work for your productivity and workflow as you use these in the classroom with your students or for your own personal productivity.
Right.
Summertime is coming.
It is. So I'm ready to kick back, sit by my new pool with my...
Well, the warm pool. You had the pool. I
had the pool, but now I have a warm pool.
Yeah.
A very, very expensive warm pool.
I really could go off the road there for a warm pool comment, but I won't.
We'll let people's imagination go there. Thank Thank goodness this is the
last
episode for a while.
But let's talk Matt Miller.
Ditch that textbook. Awesome teacher summer. So PD bingo choice board.
We love choice
So
boards.
while I'm sitting by my warm pool and just laying out, I can always check and do some PD as I'm sitting in the sun.
Right. So he's got a whole PD bingo board that you can kind of check out with a free space. If you want to kind of see some or learn some new tools, it's definitely right there. Click and you'll be able to check out all different kinds of PD
You can
for them.
going from getting Kahoot certified to getting started with Pear Deck, Soundtrap, which I need to look into a little more.
Obviously, Wakelet, Flipgrid, Adobe. There's everything's there. Workspace, digital citizenship. Which is a huge one. You can be internet awesome with that. Adobe Spark, which we've mentioned before. And then a bunch of different things with computer science and other things as well. So just something to check out and put in your pocket for this summer if you want to check out some PD and continuing to evolve and grow. And that kind of brings us to summertime activities.
Right.
We know there's some fun activities for the end of the year. Things are winding down. Content is starting. You're almost done with everything you want to teach. How do you keep those students engaged over this last 4 weeks of school?
I know one.
Go ahead.
Have a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Amazing Race style. Love it. But, some of these things at the end of the school year, the best thing to do is get your students moving. It's easy to do. You can do it with technology, creating like a scavenger hunt using a Google form to submit different things, QR codes with pictures, all these different things. But create a list of things you want your students to find or do, and then provide students with that list, set a time limit, and go.
Yeah, and it can be print and digital. Both versions are available. We'll link it in the show notes. The other ones I thought were cool, design a food truck book report. So that's something different. And then obviously the end of the year advice.
I love that reflection piece, end of the year advice. So, as a student is finishing up their fourth grade, they can create a welcome to fourth grade tips and advice from their perspective. So I think that's a really cool reflective piece for students to do at the end of the year.
Yeah, and it's really going to help those kids coming in that upcoming grade level. So, and then Camp S'more writing, so they're talking about getting outside, creating a summer bucket list, for the students. I think there's just a lot that you can do with these activities that will help keep students engaged over the last, few weeks of school, as well as gearing them up for the next grade level and preventing summer slide. You can provide some of these activities if they want to do them over the summer as well.
So this next thing that you have on the the list is something that I can totally relate to. Stop the slideshow madness.
Yeah, I did put that in there.
You did put that in. Mm-hmm. You want to tell people why you put that in?
Sure, yeah. So please, not another end of the year picture slideshow. We know that that's the end of the year picture slideshow. We've all been guilty of it and created it at the end of each and every year, and it takes hours and hours to build with the hundreds of photos from this school year, and I'm going to go on and on.
Remember when people would burn them onto DVDs? Oh, my goodness.
What's a DVD?
Hi, I'm making 32 DVDs of my picture slideshow, so I'll see you in about 2 weeks.
Yeah,
They're lovely. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
They're really lovely, and they're really awesome.
But every 2 minutes or so of a 45-minute slideshow presentation, you could miss your child. And that's kind of, where it's kind of it's done. We've done all of these things. It's wonderful. But how do we make it, better?
All right. So a few things. If you're going to go through and build a slideshow, just think about keeping the entire slideshow length between 2 and 5 minutes.
Yep.
Add some catchy music.
I love music.
Individual pictures should be kept at 1 second.
Yep.
Right? You can see the child in 1 second and move on. Group pics, 2 to 3 seconds. Larger class size, maybe put it to 4 or 5 seconds.
Yep.
Most editing software or web-based programs allow you to sync each picture for a certain length of time. Some of the things cool. There's some cool extensions that you can use that you can actually take pictures from your drive.
Yep.
And automatically take those pictures and put them onto a slide deck. Mm-hmm. So definitely check out. It's slipping my mind right now. It should be
Slip and Slide. Right?
No, not Slip and Slide. It's I don't know. I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
If you remind me.
I will.
But there's an add-on that'll let you take pictures and automatically put them into slides.
Yeah, and if you're trying to think of something besides the slideshow, you can have a collage slideshow where each student has one slide with multiple photos from the school year and let them kind of create it. Mm-hmm. And then that slideshow would be 5 to 7 seconds of that student. So you'd have maybe 30 total slides total for the slideshow, and it can be digital, shared out easily. Create a full video talking about each student. To narrate on top of the slides, to discuss the growth that the student has made. We love Flipgrid. So many awesome ways you can use Flipgrid.
I totally would revolutionize that end of the year thing. Now, instead of just pictures, you can have the students reflect or talk or add some of the things right in there. So Flipgrid would be a great idea and a great alternative to that end of the year slideshow.
So I think those are just some ways to kind of up the game or change it a little bit for those end of the year celebrations. And a big shout out to Tommy Spall from Texas. We've worked with Tommy in the past, and he actually put this post together in regards to the end of the year slide show.
Right.
To wrap up, one more thing from Tommy and his crew is getting creative with end of the year review games.
Right. I remember my review basketball game. That was always fun.
So a lot of the the secondary levels are wrapping up with Regents exams coming in New York State. How do you do all these reviews? What can you do to keep students engaged? To be able to do all of your review games for fun, because it's going to get hot and so forth. So there's an article in regards to what kind of games you can use, gamification. Different ideas in general. You click on one or two of them, and they have some ideas to kind of engage your students as you wrap up the school year.
Excellent. So as we wrap up the school year, we can start wrapping up season 1.
We are going to wrap up season 1. It's been a journey as we reflect. It's been I still can't believe it's June.
I know.
And 25 episodes in. It's been fun from when we started in October. And we will be back. Our plan is to continue season 2. We'll do a launch in August or September.
I'm sure we might have some random things thrown out at various points. Could be.
Yeah, while you're by the pool.
Well, I'm by my warm pool.
Yeah, you went there.
I did. I mean, I should explain. This year, we decided to buy a pool heater that suddenly has now works great, but
it's warm. That's all right. It's good. But we do thank everybody, for being on the journey with us, from all of our live shows at NYSCATE, all of our guests, special guests. We can't thank them enough. And we hope to continue to include and get more guests on the podcast next year and bring it to new levels. Obviously, we appreciate the feedback. What are things you like? What are things you want to see discussed or added to, like the weekly show, and things that you're like, you know what, that was kind of boring, don't go off the rails, or whatever it may be. Please, do that. We always need that feedback. So whether you're on Spotify or Apple or Google or Amazon, we need those reviews, those 5-star reviews. Please put some comments in. It helps us in getting the podcast distributed more, so then we can get more guests who are interested in joining the show, which would then benefit everybody, all the listeners, because they have a lot of knowledge to share. So I think that's my soapbox as a wrap-up, as a big thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to thank, the people who do reach out, and, the information we get back from our podcast, whether it's the weekly updates or, some of the discussions that we've had, they've been quite intense at sometimes, and sometimes they're a little bit might catch people off guard, or I love hearing the feedback of what we have to say, and then it allows me, and I think I speak for both of us, to be more reflective.
Absolutely.
On not only the content that we're putting out on the podcast, but how we approach our interactions with our colleagues and how we work with students. So I love having that ongoing loop of feedback and the interactions with people, because it really helped me learn and grow a lot through all these conversations. So while we're holding the conversation for you, when we receive things back from you, and we can continue that to grow and really build a nice community where we're all getting something valuable out of this silly little podcast that we thought would be a good idea.
Yeah, it's definitely been a great experience, and has really, as we reflect upon it, expanded our circle with colleagues in the district, out of the district, nationwide. We're really growing, and we really owe that to all the listeners. Hands down, it's to you sharing it, discussing with others, saying, hey, check this out, bringing this new form of PD learning into your world, which is, sometimes scary and people are hesitant. So we do appreciate that, 1,000%. I can't say that enough. I'm super pumped that season 2, we will be doing that. We've already discussed it, have some ideas as we start to push that forward. If you didn't get a sticker, please hit up the sticker request for some swag. Dan, any final thoughts? You're done.
I'm done.
All right.
Thank you again.
Thank you again. That's it.
Wishing the best to everyone.
Enjoy your summer. Kind of relax and rejuvenate yourself, so to speak. We thank you again for all your support, listening on all the platforms, leaving us those reviews. As always, till next time, tech hard, work smart, live in adventure.
Find Andrew on all socials at A Nicola Tech and Dan at WCSD Tech DR.